Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. You guys know what time it is. Time to talk about current events in the fitness community. And today, this just isn't just online. With the events that we have happening right now, with so many things in public being closed around the world, I personally know a lot of small business owners and personal trainers and people like that who are being just absolutely financially devastated already. And it's really sad to see that. And I'm not going to go into a discussion of whether it's right or wrong to close things down to the degree that it has been around the world, because that's going to vary from place to place, right? In some places it might be justified, in other places not. I can't really say. But what I do want to talk about is just the unfortunate aspect of the way this hits stuff, and to remind people that a lot of small businesses and other things like that do need your support, right? And you need to think about those people if it's businesses that you care about in the middle of all of this, and just be aware that sometimes these businesses might be gone by the time things return to normalcy. They may be out of business. They may be out of business depending upon what sort of economic stimulus is being given wherever you live, whether it's U.S., Europe, Canada, wherever. Because a lot of these people are going to go under. And I know people right now who are like, I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage. People on my friends list are like, they're not going to be able to pay their bills next month. Like my Facebook friends list, because I have tons of trainers and gym owners and other people up there. And I think this is to be expected, because I saw the same thing here in Houston. They closed the rodeo down last week. And there are small business owners that a big chunk of their annual income comes from being the vendors at the rodeo, because it's a pretty long event. It's not just one weekend. And that's a big part of their annual thing, and they make a lot of their money there. Just like I know people at the Texas Renaissance Festival who, a lot of vendors, that's their main selling outlet for the year. And then their other stuff, maybe the rest of the year, they maybe make a third of their income for the year off everything else. Well, it's the same with stuff like the Houston Rodeo. So you come back over to some of these big events, like the Arnold and some of these other expos that were basically shut down. A lot of small business owners and a lot of those vendors, financially devastating. Financially devastating to them. And I think this is something that we need to be aware of. And it's something that when you are a small business owner, which I count out at this point myself, we have to be aware that what we do can be fragile at times. And I think for a lot of people, that's the scary thing about it. A lot of people say, hey, I want to go into business for myself. I want to be a business owner. I want to work for myself. But by that same token, it can be scary because you don't have a safety net. Sometimes you're performing a trapeze act with no safety net underneath you. And that's, again, just the way it works, and that's the risk that you undertake. And for a lot of people, that's, I think, scarier than they would care to admit. So people think, well, maybe that would be a good idea, till they realize, well, it's not the same as having a stable, normal career. As much freedom as it may offer. But that being said, I mean, even me, I've seen a small change in my own business, because I had just, as of last week, had taken on client number 20, right? Client number 20 just before all of this hit. And I've already lost one client. Like, I have a client and it's a long-term client. It's not someone who I've only had a couple months. He basically just said, hey, I'm out of work. I'm not going to be able to afford coaching unless I re-get some work again within the next month. I would love to come back at some time, but I just can't afford it. And I have to anticipate that I may have other dropouts. You know, it was nice to be sitting at 20, but I'm below that now. And again, I have to anticipate, number one, I probably won't pick up any new clients for a few weeks. I mean, realistically, lost one already, and I have to accept that I may lose a few more. So this is going to affect a lot of us, and for me, it's minor. I know people who it's just devastated. Like I know a woman right now, her husband, because of the nature of his work, and they're over in Europe, uh, they got three kids. She's a full-time personal trainer. She's been a personal trainer by profession for like 20 years, right? That's what she's done her entire life. She's a personal trainer. And, she does just a little bit, but the gyms are all shut down. The gyms are closed. So now anyone that she wants to be a personal trainer for, she's trying to get them to her home studio, because she trains mostly women. Try to get them to her home studio, like, hey, come over here and train. But even the people where she lives, their entire local industry is being shot. So a lot of her normal people can't get over. They can't even afford her training at the moment because she had said that something like, because of where she lives, like 50% of her clients are restaurant owners, and they just closed all the restaurants. So her clients are all small business owners. They are not going to be able to afford her services. Her husband, because of his work, gets paid like once every 6 months. So he gets all his money in lump sums. They've got 3 children. So she's like, we're going to be struggling. It's going to be tough, and I'm scared. So we see these things happen. I know gym owners, and in their cities, the gyms have been announced being closed, and they're kind of like, man, what am I supposed to do? They're like, what if all my people start canceling their gym memberships? What if I have no income coming in? What if the majority of the people at my gym want to cancel indefinitely until they can come back? Am I going to be able to afford to turn the lights back on? And that's a big one that people need to think about too. If you don't have a home gym, if you're not lucky like me and have a home gym, and I've got like 6 clients who have home gyms, like racks, plates, barbells. I have at least one guy whose home gym rivals mine. Okay. I've got another one who's very, very close. So some of my guys have full, awesome, like rogue home gyms. 2/3 of my clients don't have a home gym. And so I'm having to write up programs for them to train at home for a lot of them because their gyms are closed. I have 6 clients right now who their local, they have no gym locally anymore. So we're making it work. But for a lot of you out there, something to think about, everyone's going, well, I'll just get my gym membership refunded for this month or whatever, or if things are going to be down for a month or however long. Do you want to continue to train? Like, you better be ready to go ahead and buy a home gym. Like, if you cancel those gym memberships, if that's your thought process, you probably need to start planning to build a home gym, because if you're doing that and everyone else is doing that, other than the big gyms, like the big global gyms, if you're using a local gym that's locally owned, like the person owns it and they only own 1 gym, 3 gyms, 5 gyms, it's not like 24 Hour Fitness or Gold's or one of these massive chains. You need to accept the very real possibility if gyms are shut down for a month or longer in your city, that when they open back up, that business will be gone. They may not be able to afford to turn the lights back on. And again, most of the personal trainers are out of work. They're hustling, they're struggling. Like, I know a personal trainer now who, she's actually quite famous. She's also on my friends list. Had said before, well, I don't think you can really teach someone through virtual coaching. I don't believe in it, like what I do. And I laughed about it. I said, my people do fine. I have guys who put 50 pounds on their squats and deadlifts, and they were advanced lifters already. It's fine. And novices. And she's kind of said, oh, I don't think it can really be done. Now that, this crisis is hitting that same trainer, she's up there saying, yeah, I'm learning virtual coaching. Hey, we can use Skype. Anyone there, ladies, I can help you with your home workouts. I can write home workouts and train you through Skype. Now she's hustling. Now all of a sudden, this sounds like a good idea to trainers who even didn't believe in the online coaching thing, because they're running out of options. And I don't blame them. I look at that and say, okay, that's fine. I don't have any resent towards that person for that stance. I just think it's funny they didn't think it was viable. But now, when their bills are going to be coming up due and they're dropping clients right and left and they can't get to the local gym, it suddenly becomes viable. Becomes a real good idea. And that's the situation that we're in. And all of this is quite unfortunate the way that it's turning out. But I would remind people that, specifically with the gyms, if you want to have a gym when you come back, you might want to keep paying these gym memberships. You might want to find a way to keep your gym memberships up, because if these gyms close down, they may be closing down permanently. Okay? They may be closing down permanently, and you will be forced to find a big box gym somewhere, and they're going to be overcrowded. And it could be a little while before new gyms open up and gym owners start stuff up to replace what was lost. Okay? These businesses are fragile. They're very, very fragile. They run at a pretty small profit margin. Like, people think of, oh, these gym owners are making it. Their margin is actually not that good. I know gym owners. They do okay, but they're not millionaires. I can assure you that much. They're very fragile businesses. So what I'm predicting is that in the near future, home gym companies, Rogue, Titan, all these people, they're going to be making bank. They're not going to be able to keep up with demand because now everyone who trains and who's serious about lifting is saying, oh yeah, the home gym thing seems like a real good idea. Maybe I don't need machines and all this fancy stuff. Because now people have been forced to train at home and they realize the beauty of what can be done just with some free weights if they had some. There are people right now who are like, man, what would I give to have a rack, a bench, a barbell, and a bunch of plates? I got clients now at this point who are like, oh my God, I would give a lot just to have that at home right at this moment. I have two clients right now who are sourcing home gyms. I got one right now who just put together a home gym yesterday, didn't have one. And, you know, he's a 550 deadlifter, 450 squatter, and he didn't have a gym. He's like, this isn't going to happen. So he just last night got like a half rack, got a barbell. He got, a few plates. He's trying to get more plates. He's trying to get started, okay, because he's like, I can't get by without this. And he's put it in his basement, Got to make it work, guys. And he is. This is going to blow up. People are going to build home gyms now. They're realizing that you can't rely on the gyms to stay open. We can't. Home gyms, that's where it's at. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.